one way or another, our time has come.
Yeah, we're all going to be just professional podcasters. You're going to make tons of money. You don't have to do anything but talk into a microphone. Look, you motherfuckers, I don't want a tea public, and I don't want a throne. I do this shit because I love it.
Wfod begins now.
The Wfod. My name is Mike. I am joined by my good friend, the king of pranks, the albino alligator, popcorn bitch, Jaguar impressive, Coach T, the Duke of Denim, Mr. Travis Hulse. Hi, Travis.
Good afternoon. Hello.
The phone number to contact the show is 636-487-HAND or WFOD show on Skype. And Travis, we have quite a treat for the people. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to be talking to Stu Shostak, Travis. And he's an internet radio man. He's a television historian. Looking forward to talking to him. I think that he's responsible for things still existing. You know, because like what they used to do is they used to just air stuff on television and then throw it in the garbage.
Sure.
And then he would go into the garbage and get that out.
And then archive that stuff.
Right. You gotta. I think to be in the relationship that he's in, you have to find somebody who's also has that relationship with art. You know, Travis. So
sure.
You could justify it too, because like if people roll their eyes at your garage full of I Love Lucy episodes, it's probably not gonna work. Because you gotta maybe.
I don't know. I'm sitting in a room full of comic books that I've been collecting since I was 8 years old, and my wife could give two shits about any of that.
Right. As long as she has room for her stuff, right?
Exactly.
And Travis, I just got a text message a few minutes ago, and I'm pretty excited about it. You're probably not too up on Missouri politics.
No, I'm not.
So,
not for this election cycle, anyway.
A couple years ago, Travis, we had the governor of Missouri, and he was fucking the guy from Story of the Year's wife.
Oh, hey.
And I think he was blackmailing her with pictures. I guess this is all allegedly because I don't really know for sure.
Sure, of course.
So he was fucking the guy from Story of the Year's wife, and then I think he was like tying her up in his basement. He was doing some weird shit, Travis. There was bondage involved.
So it was consensual though. He wasn't like done having sex with her, and he's like, now it's time to tie you up against your will in the basement.
Well, and then he was taking dirty pictures of her and blackmailing her with the pictures. Anyway, all this comes out, it's a whole fucking ordeal. And I mean, he's the governor. And so he resigned and got divorced.
Of course.
Because they were like, yeah, you're a creep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was just a couple of years ago, Travis. And I just got a text message that he's running for Senate now. You can't do that, can you? Can you resign in disgrace? Is being a senator that's like a bump in prestige, isn't it? Because it's a national thing instead of a state thing.
I think so. I think when you're the governor of the state, though, I think you have a a higher controlling power in that state. But I feel like as a representative of the state at the federal government, I would think that would be a raise. But yeah, politics is funky now. You know, you can be a disgraced adulterer who blackmails a band member's wife and then resign and then be like, hey, don't worry about it. Elect me.
I guess he's hoping we forgot. It was just like 2018, Travis. It wasn't that long ago.
That's the easiest mudslinging that has ever been presented to whoever he's like running against.
Yeah, you were fucking until the day I die guy's wife.
Yeah, the other candidate just got to be like, dude, while you were in office, you were S&M'ing with another man's wife and had to resign.
Yeah, what are you going to do if we take you to the Senate?
Right.
You're single now. You can get even weirder.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about getting caught.
Uh-huh.
I guess he wasn't worried about getting caught. I mean, he did get caught. But like,
yeah, he wasn't worried
that
about
Wiener guy, he was a creep. And he got caught being a creep and then like started running for stuff again. And he was winning. He was doing well. And then he got caught being a creep again.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people can't help but just be a creep.
Wouldn't you be so embarrassed? I mean, like, you know you're going to have to talk to people and that they're probably going to bring up the whole S&M picture blackmail thing.
Some people, I think their ego is so large and the taste of power is like so rich that they just don't think about it.
Yeah, when I was the governor, that was really great. I could like tell people what to do and stuff. I want more.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like celebrities, like we've talked about before, where I think politicians are very similar to like large celebrities, like your big names, your Brad Pitts, your Sean Penns, where they just cease to become real people, right? Like they just don't operate within the same lanes of humanity as the rest of society does. They just do shit, and even if there's consequences, they just kind of move on and keep doing the shit.
I'm thinking as myself, and I'm thinking I would be so embarrassed that I wouldn't want to ever talk to the public again. I would.
You'd have to move, right?
Yeah.
Like if something like that.
I for sure wouldn't be running in Missouri again because they know. I mean, like I moved to Wisconsin. Like you might not know.
Yeah.
And you might not give it a goog.
Right. I wouldn't even know the guy's name, so he could come here and start running for Senate, and it'd be fine.
Right. I mean, like you goog it might like show up at the bottom, but it also said, "Oh, he's the governor of Missouri for a while." Be like, "Oh, that's cool."
Oh yeah, good. Well, at least he's electable.
Yeah, he has some experience.
Right.
And you don't get into the personal life section where it said that he S&M'd broads.
And then blackmailed their husbands.
Travis, on a similar note, I gotta know about this flaming hot Mountain Dew.
Oh, that is a very similar note, actually.
So
everything's flaming hot now, right? And much to my surprise, they released a flaming hot Mountain Dew.
Now, is it citrusy, or does it just taste like burn?
Like that was my thought. Like, what could it possibly be? When you think of flaming hot Mountain Dew, what is the first thing that comes in your mind? Like, how do you wrap your head around that, Mike?
See, I think of like when you drink a whole bunch of gulps of Sprite, and like you feel that burn in your throat. That's what I think it has to be. I mean, like it doesn't taste like a Cheeto, right?
Well, and that's kind of where I was at too. It's like, how could you possibly do this? And the only thing that I could wrap my head around is that it was like cinnamony, like it would be like taking a shot of Fireball, right? Like that's just kind of what I assumed it was.
Okay, yes,
like
cinnamony. That makes sense.
Right. It's not. It's not that at all. So what this flavor of this Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew is, it's have you had Mountain Dew Live Wire, the orange one?
Yeah, that one's kind of mild, isn't it? It's a mild flavor.
Yeah, it's like just like an orangey kind of. So this is what it's like. It's like a Mountain Dew Live Wire with like a splash of lime.
Okay.
Is what it tastes like. And then the flaming hot part comes from, like, when you if you sleep with your mouth wide open overnight, and you wake up in the morning and the back of your throat kind of burns a little bit, kind of dry and sore.
Okay, so like you had a hulls in your mouth.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where the flamin' hot part comes in. It kind of, after you take a drink, you're like, oh, okay, this is like a orange lime soda, and then your throat starts to hurt.
So it's not so much a flavor as like a state of mind.
Right. So years ago, and this is years ago, they would never even attempt to try something like this again. But there was an independent energy drink company who created an energy drink called cocaine. It was literally in a red can, and in white letters across the can, it said cocaine.
Dun, 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 dun. Cocaine, right?
Cocaine, right. So this energy drink, what it was, for people who are familiar with cocaine, and this is not from personal experience, of course, just from what I've been told in the past, is that when you do cocaine, you get something in the back of your throat that's called the drip. So it's kind of like an aspirin-y burn in the back of your throat, which some people say that they really enjoy. It's like one of the, besides the fact that the cocaine is speeding up everything around or inside you, you get this drip thing. So they made this energy drink called cocaine, which it did taste just kind of cinnamony, but when you drank it, you would get the same sensation in the back of your throat as when you do cocaine. So it was like
actual cocaine.
Like actual cocaine,
okay.
Exactly. So you drink the cocaine energy drink, and it was quite full of caffeine, so it did give you like that nice energy drink like buzz, but also you got the cocaine drip in the back of your throat. And by the way, this energy drink lasted exactly 2 weeks on shelves before it was pulled, and the company was like dissolved because you can't make an energy drink called cocaine.
Can't call it. How did it even get to stores to begin with?
I think it was an independent company, and there was like independent beer distributors who were like, oh, cool, I bet just for the novelty factor, we'll be able to sell that. Well, the problem is you can sell it, and energy drinks don't have an age prohibition, so any child can walk into Joe Schmo's convenience store and buy as many cans of cocaine as they want. So once that was noticed, the public at large was like, you can't do this.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's what you say.
So,
that's what the whole press release says. You can't do that.
Effective immediately, cocaine will be pulled from the shelves. When asked for comment, legislators said, you can't do that.
Yeah, no, no. Stop
right.
it.
So anyway, this, going back to the Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew, that is kind of the novelty of it, right? It's not bad tasting. It kind of gives you like a burn just in the back of your throat, and then it kind of gives you gut rot after drinking about a half a can. So out of Travis's soda reviews, out of 10, I give it a I don't know. Try it once and forget about it.
Right. I saw a guy on Twitter, Travis, he was buying a 12-pack of it. And I said, no.
That's too much.
You buy one to try it. You don't buy 12 because then you're just going to have 11 in your fridge forever.
You don't start with a 12-pack. The only thing that I could see, 12-packs would probably be good for middle schoolers who are having like a sleepover where they're just going to play a bunch of video games all night, a bunch of Fortnite. They're going to stop. They're going to say, Mom, you got to buy me...
me and my 11 friends, so we can all have one.
Buy the Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew because half my class is coming over.
Yeah.
And we're all going to have some.
Yeah.
And then if there's any left over after that, then you can just throw it in the trash because nobody's ever going to drink this.
Is there going to be like some mix-ins, Travis? Could you mix this Flamin' Hot Mountain Dew with some alcohol to make a concoction of some sort?
I would imagine you could. I think a really good mixologist could use that throat burn to their advantage. I don't know exactly how. I would assume you'd have to do something, with the taste buds exploding and then your throat hurting. I don't know. Yeah, you could. I mean, to get rid of it, mix anything with rum or vodka and whatever.
Yeah. No, I was curious because I've been seeing these popping around, And I've gone, that's not good. And Mountain Dew, for the most part, I don't enjoy. Actually, you know what? I would say Diet Mountain Dew is better than Mountain Dew.
I like Diet Mountain Dew, and actually I'm a big fan of Mountain Dew Zero, which is a different taste than Diet Dew, but is still a 0-calorie beverage.
Yeah, I got a 4-pack of those Nitro Pepsis, Travis, and those were pretty gross.
Yeah, so a lot of people say that.
They just taste like flat soda. They're not good. Like they were saying you pour it in a glass and you can admire the little bubbles. And I did that, Travis. I didn't see no bubbles. I saw no bubbles.
Yeah. Did you turn the can directly upside down?
Oh, give me a fucking break. What are you talking about turning the can
It says it right on the can. Because the little nitrous ball that's in there, you got to crack the can, turn it directly upside down, and that's when you get the it almost looks like you're pouring a Guinness.
Oh, see, now I got to go buy more.
Or did you throw the rest of them away?
Well, no, I mean, I drank all 4 of them. They're not good, but they were in my fridge, so I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't want to store them. I just wanted them to go away, and the best way for them to go away is to just drink them.
True.
Speaking of which, Travis, so I took a shit last night, right?
Mm-hmm. As one does.
Well, and see, sometimes it's like I felt like I had to shit, but I went to take a shit, and I couldn't really shit. It was just like a series of farts, like a whole bunch of farts. And so then I'm just sitting on the toilet, like checking my phone, because that's a good place to just check your phone and relax for a while. And, the dogs don't usually come in there. I can just kind of be by myself. Mm-hmm. And so
it's important for a man to get that alone time.
When I stood up and I looked to see what I had made, there was this little bitty, like transparent square with words written on it. And it was backwards, and it said Sunday Brunch. And Travis, I don't think that I shit a sticker that said Sunday Brunch, but I also don't know where a sticker that says Sunday Brunch would have come from, but it was in my toilet. It was backwards. It said Sunday Brunch. I took a picture of it. I can send it to you.
What would ever be the purpose of a sticker that says Sunday Brunch?
Well, I don't even know if it was a sticker necessarily, but it was transparent, and like the words were backwards. So like when I shit it into the toilet, it went the wrong way. Because I guess your butthole doesn't really know like which way words go.
Are you making it a habit of it to eat stickers?
No. Well, do you think I ate the sticker and like didn't digest the sticker, and so then I just shit the sticker?
Have you had Sunday Brunch recently?
No, but what would a Sunday Brunch sticker even be on? See, this
like
is
a Sunday Brunch buffet, maybe?
I know this is weird. But it happened, and I've been thinking about it. I shit a sticker that says Sunday Brunch, but it wasn't in shit. It was like by itself.
Because there was no shit.
Because there was no shit.
So if there's no shit, where could a Sunday Brunch sticker come from?
I don't know. And I mean, like, if I had a Sunday Brunch sticker, the Sunday Brunch sticker probably would have been in the kitchen with food items, because Sunday Brunch implies a meal of some sorts.
Did you perhaps sit on this sticker with your bare ass and then it just fell off your bare ass into the toilet?
See, now that's a possibility, and probably a much more likely scenario than like me eating the sticker and then farting the sticker.
Right, but farting the sticker out. Because you would think that you would digest that a little bit. The sticker wouldn't be whole by the time it came out.
Yeah, but so
this is a mystery.
Maybe it was like on my pants, and when I went to take my pants down. But and it was a tiny little sticker. It was very small, which means it probably wasn't meant like to advertise that something is good for Sunday Brunch, because it was too small. I mean, the sticker was like the size of like the power button on an iPhone. It was very small. I had to get
that is very small.
Yeah, it was very, very small.
Because, see, I'm picturing like maybe you were sitting in like a prep kitchen or something, and they were going to have to label a specific food item, put it in the fridge that's, they want it, this is for Sunday brunch, don't take it out until Sunday brunch. But if that's small,
like if you imagine like the sticker on like an apple or an orange, it was smaller than that. It was probably half the size of that.
That sticker shouldn't even exist.
Right, it was too small to even really exist. Travis, do you think that like somebody put the sticker there to mess with me? Do you think that, like it was a trick?
Yes.
Because they knew I would notice it, because I turn around to look and see what I made. Somebody
said, look, how small this sticker is, and it says Sunday brunch on it. The best possible use for this sticker would be to put it in Mike's toilet to make him wonder where it came from.
In the chat, Jody says Laura was pulling your leg. But where would she even get a Sunday brunch sticker to do such a thing?
Especially one so small.
Yeah. I don't know. So, what do we cover, Travis? We covered the former governor of Missouri, bondaging gals, Mountain Dew, and farting stickers.
Sunday brunch.
I mean, I'd say pretty successful first half of the show.
Hey, we're off to a good start. What more can you expect on a Sunday afternoon?
I mean, these afternoon shows, they're riveting content. It's just like really good stuff.
They're of the highest quality.
We watched. We've been watching a lot of The Taskmaster lately, Travis. Have you heard of The Taskmaster? It's like a British show.
Like a restaurant show or something like that?
No, like it's comedians and they do dumb things like they get like a note that says, eat as much of this watermelon as you can in 1 minute, and then like they compete to see who can eat the most watermelon, or like they count how many SpaghettiOs are in a can of SpaghettiOs. They do all kinds of stuff.
Are they in a game show studio while they're doing this?
Well, they're like in a talk show studio, and then they go to the videos of them doing the things. So like they do the things at different places, and then they go to this to talk about it.
Then they record a wraparound for them.
It's a really fun show, Travis. I got like we were almost done with the first season of it. And we're probably just going to keep watching it because it's good.
Where does one find this program?
I don't know. It was on the internet. And I think that they've tried to make it in the United States a couple times, and it hasn't worked out. This is like a British show.
Americans have a different sensibility than the Brits do for their reality television
and usually
competition shows.
I don't like British humor, Travis. Usually, like it's too hoity-toity for me. Like, I like my humor dumb, Travis. I like a dumb humor.
Big fan of Adam Sandler, but recent Adam Sandler, not classic.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Hubie Halloween was a triumph.
I love Hubie Halloween.
The movie was great.
That's a every year watch in our household now for Halloween.
I'll tell you what. I don't turn off Adam Sandler. I'm not above that type of stuff, Travis.
No, and my kids are at the appropriate age right now. Like I was a little bit older when Sandler first came to prominence, but my kids are like 10 and 13. So my daughter, especially, who is 13, really into Adam Sandler movies. So I forced myself to watch Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2, which originally I thought I hated, but then turns out actually pretty funny.
They're fine. They're all fine. Yeah. That's why they're perfect for Netflix. Which, by the way, Netflix is losing a lot of money right now, Travis, and that's because they reminded people of Netflix, and then people are like, oh, shit, I'm paying for Netflix?
Oh, damn.
The key to Netflix is to just have everybody forget that you take their money every month. Because, once you say anything about money, then people are going to be like, oh, wait, we pay for Netflix?
Oh, that's right, and they raised the prices a couple of times. Right. Damn it, I meant to cancel that.
Yeah. You just let people open your app a couple times a month and say, oh, there's a new murder show. And then, when it comes time to pay the bill and you see that they took out for Netflix, be like, yeah, I watched some murder shows. But like, don't remind them when they're not actively watching Netflix.
Right.
That you pay the money, because then they're going to be like, oh shit, I should get rid of Netflix.
Right, because that's the thing. It's like every month when I see that email that said, "Oh, you paid for Netflix," I'm like, "Oh, that's right, I have Netflix. Maybe I'll cancel it next month."
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't.
They got something coming. I got some stuff on my list that I should watch.
That's how STU'S gets me, right? Because I'm exclusively a streaming household, and STU'S is not a great streaming service, but they have like some serviceable movies once in a while. And every time I try to cancel, they say, "Hey, stick around. We'll give you 3 months for $10." And I'm like, "Nah, it's still. I don't want to pay $3 a month." And then you say, "No, proceed to cancel." And then they say, "Hey, wait. Are you sure?" And I say, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, how about if you pay $3 for the next 3 months?" And I'm like, $3? $1 a month? Yeah, all right. So then what happens is those 3 months pass, and that I forget to cancel it, and then I pay 1 month of $10, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
That's their whole business strategy, Travis.
And then I go to cancel it right as soon as I see I paid $10, and I click cancel, and they're like, well, how about you pay $9.99 for 3 months? And I say, no, I want to cancel it, guys. You got me once. I'm not going to do this again. And then they say, okay, are you sure? Hold up. And I say, no. And then they say, how about you pay $3 for 3 months again? And I say, okay, and we repeat the cycle.
Do you want to just take the call and not worry about the break?
Yep.
Okay. Stu.
Hello there. Is this Mike?
This is Mike.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Travis is here too. Say hi, Travis.
Hey, Stu.
Hello, Travis. Your name wasn't on my sheet here, so sorry about that. Hello, Travis.
That's all right. I try to keep my name off of any official documents.
Oh, is it going to be one of those type of shows? Okay, great. So,
Stu, I watched the movie yesterday. The movie's great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was very careful who I allowed to let tell our story because it's kind of a sensitive thing, and the medical industry is not going to be that happy about it.
Right.
But CJ did a wonderful job capturing. I don't know how he did it. 96 minutes. How he was able to get the bulk of my career in there, as well as my fight against the insurance company and the medical industry to get Janine well.
Yeah, so. It was kind of a sneak attack because I didn't know any of that was in there. It was presented.
That's the whole point of the film. that was the whole point of the film was, to hook the audience as you meet this, kind of likable schmuck who loves old TV and got lucky enough to work for Lucille Ball and has this internet talk show, and then all of a sudden it does a 180, and then I become an asshole trying to get my wife well.
Right. Is Jeannie doing okay?
Yeah, everybody asks that. She's fine. She's not 100% recovered. She's better than she was at the end of that movie, but she still has some balance issues and some behavioral issues, but she's got all her marbles, and she's still cleaning the house night and day, and, she's doing okay. If the doctors hadn't told me she was going to fully recover, I probably wouldn't have fought as hard to get her well. But she's doing fine. Surprisingly, nobody has asked for any interviews with her, and that's the one question that I always get: is she okay? Is she all right? So I'm having CJ and the producer of the film on my own show on May 18th, and Janine will be on with us there because I told her, I said, you've got to do the show because everybody's wondering if you're still around after all this time. The film was supposed to come out 2 years ago, but the pandemic screwed everything up.
Right. Travis, he's mentioned CJ a couple times. Did you see the Perfect Bid, the documentary about the guy who kind of scammed The Price is Right?
Oh, I love that.
He did that too.
That is why I agreed to let CJ. There are two reasons that I agreed to make our story public. One was I had CJ on my show to promote Perfect Bid. I had no idea who he was. He's this 30-something young, long-haired hippie who came in to promote I saw the film, when I heard about the film, and I said, well, this is the story of the guy who guessed the exact price of the showcase. And I said, well, that's 10 minutes. What about the rest of the film? And they said, well, come and see it. Yeah, no, seriously. And they said, come and see it. You'll be surprised. And just like you guys were surprised with the 180 that our film does, I was blown away by this Ted Slauson guy. I didn't know that he'd sit there and memorize all these prices and have these computer programs, and he went to the show 40 million times, and then he finally got picked as a contestant. And I said, this is fucking fascinating. This is incredible. I said, you've got to come and do my show. So I had him come on with Roger Dobkowitz, who was the previous producer of The Price is Right when Bob Barker was hosting it, and we chatted about the film, and we showed clips, and I was blown away by it. And when he came over to here to do my show, he was blown away by what I had in our whole story with Janine, and he said, this is my next documentary. And I said, well, hold on, I want to make sure that it's done right, and you did a great job on Perfect Bit. But he convinced me, and so that's how it happened. And he was great. He's a brilliant filmmaker.
Now,
that is pretty amazing to come in and kind of get your basic story and be like, this is something that I can make a documentary of that will be super intriguing and keep people watching, and then to convince you, who were not actively looking to make a documentary, to actually do that.
Well, here's the deal. I told you there were two reasons I agreed to. One was when I saw Perfect Bid and thought, this guy is going places, and I want to help promote his career and get him going. And the other reason is, I told him, I said, look, I don't want to show off the fact that I knew Lucille Ball, because that's just, patting myself on the back, and I don't really care about promoting my show. I mean, I do want to promote my show, but I don't want to make the film to say, hey, everybody look at me. I said, I will do this film if we can show the regular general public out there that when a medical crisis, when an emergency comes up, you can learn how to play the system, and you can emerge victoriously with the medical industry. You can cut through all the BS and all the bureaucracy and all the red tape if you learn how to play the game, and you can get your loved one well. That's the reason I agreed to do the film. And he said, great. He said, because here's my idea. And he told me the idea, and I said, well, do you really think after 30 minutes of all of this show business stuff with Lucille Ball and all these classic TV people that are coming to do my show, you're going to do this 180, and all of a sudden it becomes fighting for Janine's life? I said, you really think people are going to stick around? And he said, yeah, the way I'm going to do it, they will, because I have to establish you first. Sure. And once the audience is on your side, they'll be rooting for you the whole way. And I said, well, good luck with that. But he did it. He did it, guys. He did it.
See, I forgot what I was going to say now. Stu, I guess we should, for people who don't really know what it is that you've done, I guess.
I don't even know what I've done. So,
you kind of, are you responsible for a bunch of stuff still existing just by, now, Travis, I wouldn't go so far as to call Stu a hoarder, but I would say that
you better not, in this conversation is over.
Stu, what I would say is you are probably a name drop that any hoarder could use to win an argument about their hoarding, though, right? I mean, like,
well, go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, my
not a hoarder, okay? And this is what you're backing me in a corner, guys. This is what any hoarder would say when you call them out on that. They'll say, I'm not a hoarder, I'm a collector.
Yeah.
All right, get your laughs. Go ahead. No. Okay. No.
I'm the same, Stu. I'm surrounded by comic books as we speak. I can't stop myself.
Okay, all right. So now I know where you guys are coming from. Okay, so yeah, I collected comics as a kid. I still have some of them. Everything here, if you come over here, everything is organized. There's nothing on the floor. There's nothing on the tables. Our house looks like a house. My office looks like a house. My TV studio part of my office looks like a TV studio. Everything is on shelves. Everything is organized. It looks more like the Library of Congress, okay?
Right.
And I'll take pictures and send them to you if you don't believe me.
No, I saw the movie. I saw your collection. I saw it.
And a collector.
Yeah. And so what you have is a bunch of stuff that probably otherwise wouldn't have existed, right? Because what TV people used to do is broadcast it and then just throw it away.
I have that qualifies for that, yes.
How did you get into that, right? Like, and I guess that's a question you can ask any collector or anything. Like, what drew you to wanting to preserve those items?
Okay, well, you want the long answer or the short answer?
Mix it up.
Well, you've come to the right person because I'm totally mixed up. Okay, so when I was a kid, 8, 9 years old, I just was fascinated by television. I loved television. I loved watching it. I was fascinated by the way it was put on. My second grade teacher was married to a gentleman who worked at the local PBS station in Los Angeles. And I'll tell you how old I am. It wasn't PBS then. It was NET. National Educational Television. Look that up, because you guys sound a lot younger than me. So anyway, he talked about how they put on the show and how the cameras worked and how the lights worked and how you got mic'd and all of that, and I was just blown away by that. So when I turned 8 or 9, my grandfather, for my birthday that year, bought me a Bell & Howell silent 8mm projector. Okay, this is way, way, way before the days of VCRs and DVD and streaming. This is like 1964, okay? And there were a couple of companies that sold 8mm home movies of their professional films. One was Castle Films, and they sold Woody Woodpecker cartoons and Abbott and Costello cut-downs from the features and all of the stuff that you could see on TV. But in those days, and I know this is hard to believe, in those days you had to watch it in real time or you missed it.
Right.
So stuff like the Flintstones and the Lucy Show and Huckleberry Hound and everything that we take for granted now, watching on Boomerang or HBO Max, where you can just grab your remote and watch it. You had to plant your butt in front of the TV, and you had to be there for it, or you missed it. So Flintstones was airing in prime time on Friday nights in those days, and if I wasn't in front of our black and white TV at 8:30 on Friday nights, I missed the show, and I was not a happy camper. So when these projectors came out, Columbia was another company that put out black and white shorter versions of their television cartoons. And for $5 or $6, you could own 10 minutes of a Flintstones or a Three Stooges or a Mr. Magoo. And my parents used to buy me those for birthdays and holidays and stuff. And that was the only thing we had outside of watching the show live, except for an occasional LP record with the original voices of the cartoon people on the record, or if we were really daring enough, a reel-to-reel tape recorder that we could take the microphone and put up next to the speaker of the television and make our own recordings. I did that too.
So that was just the audio version of the cartoon?
Just audio. Yeah,
okay.
There was no. If you told me I could have a videotape recorder in my home when I was 10 years old, I would have married you. They existed, but they were on 2-inch tape, and they were in big engineering rooms in the television studios.
Right. I think my parents have a VCR in their basement, like one of the first VCRs around, that was like $800. That like they can't part with. I don't think it even works anymore, but they have it down in the basement, and they won't get rid of it just because they spent $800 on it. And they said,
well, yeah, actually, the new half-inch machines, when they came out in the late 70s, and of course, by that point I was in my early 20s, and I scrimped and saved like crazy. My first Zenith Betamax, SL8200, which I still have, and it doesn't work either. So I think there's something in the air about us all, our old farts, saving this stuff. It was about $1,400, I think, and an L500 2-hour tape was $20. So. But I was in heaven. I was taping MASH every Monday night. I was taping All in the Family. I was watching this stuff, You know, I mean, it sounds crazy now, but I was able to watch All in the Family at 2 in the afternoon if I wanted to watch it, you know?
Yeah, and that's amazing, Stu. 'Cause I did the same thing, like, you know, because I was born in 1980, and people think, oh, you've always had this technology. It's like, no, the same deal. If I wanted to watch Masters of the Universe, I had to be there in front of the TV, and it was the same deal. Like, if I didn't catch it, I didn't know what He-Man did that week. And the closest we got was like a Viewmaster, right, where you put those little slides in the machine, put them up to your eyes, and you could click the button, and you could see different stills of He-Man punching Skeletor. And so when I grew up, and you know, when same deal, people forget that there was a time when you rented VCRs because it was just not affordable for you to purchase one. So you could like rent a VCR, rent a couple of videotapes, and you'd watch the same movies 100 times over the course of a weekend because that's what you had besides TV. So when we actually
isn't it amazing? Yeah, isn't it amazing what used to entertain us in those days?
Right. And now you pull on your streaming service and you can click and watch literally anything that exists, and you don't know what to watch because there's just so much.
Exactly. You've got 500 channels on television and nothing is on.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
So anyway, just to finish up, I started with 8mm film, and when I became a teenager and went to work in the business hawking TV tickets, I saved up enough money to get a 16mm projector, and that opened me up to the collector's world and the collector magazines that were out there, and I found that people were doing what I ended up doing later on, which is called dumpster diving, is when prints got worn out at the TV stations, most of the syndicators didn't want them back, so they just said, toss them and we'll send you new prints. And so I jumped into the dumpsters and took out the prints. They still ran. Right. Yeah, they were cut up. Yeah, they were splicey. But my God, I had personal prints of all the stuff I watched on TV. And so that's how the collector market started. And I built up an enormous library of classic TV. And I've also discovered that a lot of stations in the early 60s and 70s were double affiliates. In other words, if you were in, say, Butte, Montana, you didn't have an ABC, a CBS, and an NBC station. You maybe had two stations, and they split the programming between all three. And so they could only take one show, like let's say Bewitched was on Thursday nights at 8:30 on ABC, which it was. Well, if the station that was the ABC affiliate was running an NBC show at the time, they were sent a 16mm print of Bewitched to run when they wanted to run it, and usually that was in the afternoon on Saturday and Sunday when they needed programming time to fill. And so once those 16mm prints were done, the networks did the same thing. They threw them in the dumpster. Well, collectors like me took them out and sold them in the collecting and the trading marketplace, and that's how I got these original Bewitched with the Quaker Oats and Chevrolet commercials from the 60s. And you know, it was quite a racket back then, and that's when I built up the collection. So that's how it started. And like I said, I've always been fascinated with TV, and then the production companies heard about me and my collection, and they started calling me to supervise and to consult on some of their retrospective shows because I knew everything about this stuff. And that eventually led to me becoming Lucy's film archivist because she was impressed with my knowledge of her career, and that also, led to the show that I do now, Preserving Classic TV. So there you go. That's a very long answer to your short question.
Amazing. So when you met, did you meet your wife in the business then?
No. In fact, there's a misnomer going around saying that I met my wife at one of the Lucy conventions we produced. She was there, but I was married to somebody else at the time, and I didn't even know Janine existed. We had a couple of thousand people a year come through there. It was, they were like Star Trek conventions back in the 90s for Lucy fans. I met her because she discovered my show, but she discovered the show through the Lucy fan club because I had a lot of Lucy actors and actresses on the show in the early days when they were still around, like Dora Singleton and Shirley Mitchell and Keith Thibodeau, who played Little Ricky. They all did the audio version of my show back in the day when you couldn't stream video. And she became a listener to the show, and that's how we met. She used to call in and ask them questions, and I just fell in love with her voice. And we talked one night on the phone for 4 hours, and neither of us was looking for a relationship. And she came down to L.A. on her own dime, and we just hit it off. And for 7 years, I had the best relationship I ever had in my whole life. And it's like, thank you. I finally met somebody who loves what I do and can put up with me and all this. And then she had the brain aneurysm. It's like, oh, great, now I'm going to lose her. And I said, no, I'm not. Damn it, this one's not going to get away. And that forms the basis for the film.
Yeah. It is called Stu's Show. It's going to be
same as my talk show. Same title.
This just STU'S to hear your show, right?
Correct. Well, to watch the show, yeah, they can watch. I have an audio simulcast, but we're total high def television now. It's Stu's Show, 2 S's in the middle there, STU'S
Do you have it on podcast, or is it just like the live stream?
You know, it technically is. It's a video podcast, but it looks more like a regular, over the air talk show.
Mm-hmm.
I archive my shows on my website, and I have a Roku channel. They can go to the Roku store and search Stu's Show there, and they can install the channel, which is free. And there's about 30 previous television shows that they can watch on demand. They can also see the new shows every other Wednesday there. And I also just recently added a 24/7 channel that's free, which is 2 years behind. In other words, if you go on there now, you'll see the shows that aired this month 2 years ago in a continuous 8-hour loop. And so I make it as easy as possible for people to see the show. But as far as putting them on iTunes and some of the other places for podcasts, no, that I don't do. I keep the show pretty exclusive so that I have control over it.
Makes sense. Guys, Stu's Show, it's going to be on all the digital rental services on May 2nd. Check it out.
Correct.
It's a good documentary, good time. Stu, man, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. We appreciate your time.
You guys are great. I didn't know what to expect here, because I went to your Facebook page and I went, okay, well, this is going to be interesting. This is great. I really enjoyed this.
Stu, thanks, man.
Thanks so much, Stu.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Mike. It was great talking to you, too.
Take care.
Take care, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
Travis, Stu's a good guy, right?
You
Fun
bet.
Time. Guy can bullshit with the best of them, can't he?
Hell yeah. That's what happens when a guy's been producing his own show for as many years as he has.
Right.
And you can come in and talk to a couple of doofuses on a Sunday afternoon and have a decent conversation.
See, I think what happens is like he got the keys to the castle of all of Lucille Ball stuff, and I think he has all of Dick Van Dyke stuff. And having that fucking content is the whole name of the game now. I mean, you look at these huge ass deals that people are making, like for old episodes of Seinfeld and shit.
Right.
I mean, like TV Land needs something, and they
certainly do.
Call up Stu and they say, "Hey, man, you got all those old Bewitched? We need those."
Yeah, we need to fill an hour gap or a 2-hour gap, and we got nothing. So,
right?
What do you got?
Interesting guy.
Yeah, certainly. I can only imagine some of the things he's been a part of in his life. And I guess I don't have to, because I'll be able to watch Stu's Show on all streaming platforms on May 2nd.
May 2nd. That's like in a week, Travis.
Perfect.
We already saw it, though, because we're big shots, right?
Yeah.
Travis, let me ask you a question.
Please.
Do you have what you would say is like a pick of the week, something you want the people to know about, Travis?
I do. Now, listen. These guys have been around forever. They're old news, and then they're new news. Some people might think it's juvenile. I happen to think that it's some of the funniest content ever produced. Jackass Forever. Watched that this last week. And once the bits got going, I did not stop laughing for 2 hours. There was a lot more penis work in this than I expected, but regardless of that fact, that movie was so funny. By the time it was over, my throat hurt from laughing so much. My wife looked at me like I was some kind of insane person because I couldn't stop laughing. Jackass Forever was amazing. I cannot believe these fools were still doing that as of last year. They're like old men now,
right?
And launching themselves out of cannons and shit. It's crazy.
I would say that it's probably the worst of the Jackass movies, but that's still pretty great.
Right. I would say I think Jackass 3 was probably the best, in my opinion.
That's
the way that
the 3D one where they had like the $2 million camera.
Yeah. Yeah. And the end never ceases to like make me gag and laugh at the same time when they launched Steve-O on that bungee contraption in a full porta potty, and he's just like bouncing all over and is getting shit in his mouth and nose and eyes and ears, and he can't keep his mouth shut because he's like freaking out about being like bounced around the walls super fast. And that's an equal gag / hilarious laugh, and a lot of that happened in this movie. I don't think there was a weak segment in Jackass Forever. I loved it all.
Travis, I saw Uncharted.
You did?
Yeah. Travis, Uncharted, it was really dumb. It was a really dumb movie. I had several problems with it, Travis. One of the problems is, like, pretty much they had to get keys and maps and shit. You know, the movie played a lot like a video game.
Sure.
They had to get keys and maps so that they could find where they were going to go do their adventure and, you know, use the keys to open the things.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like, they got these keys and maps, but, like, the bad guys were always there. Like, the bad guys figured out where to go without the keys and maps. And they were there, and I don't know how they kept being there.
Wasn't that kind of how the last Tomb Raider reboot kind of went, where they needed to solve all these things to get there, and then the bad guys were already there? Wasn't that the same kind of deal?
I don't think I saw that Tomb Raider movie, Travis. I didn't see it. And worth mentioning, so at one point there is like the most heavy-handed, awful cameo I've ever seen. The voice actor for the Uncharted video games makes a cameo, and you will know exactly when it is, because it is so fucking, like, gross. The rest of the movie...
Does he wear, like, his... is there, like, a crew jacket from when they were making the video game, and it just says Uncharted across it, and then his name?
So, at one point, they dive out of an airplane, and none of them have parachutes, and like they have to find parachutes while they're falling from the sky. Like, I think there's a parachute on a antique car or something, and that has a parachute. So they like get in the car and use the car's. It's ridiculous, but I mean it's neat looking. It looks incredible,
sure.
But it's ridiculous. So anyway, they land no, they don't land in the car. I think they got on like a shipping. Anyway, Travis, they land and they're fine, right? After falling out of an airplane, and they're in the ocean, and then suddenly, like they get to land, like they see land and are able to get to it. And when they get to land, it's like a vacation resort or something, and there's just a guy sitting on like a lounger. And he goes, "Hey, you guys look like you've gone through some stuff." The guy goes, "Oh yeah, well, we fell out of a car that was falling out of an airplane, and we were stranded at sea, but we're okay now." And the guy, he stands up and he goes, "I did that once." No, seriously, it's the worst thing you've ever seen, Trevor. It's.
I thought he was gonna stand up and be like, "Well, it sounds like you guys have been in uncharted territory."
No, it's a bad movie, Travis. It's not good. And Marky Mark, I think he was supposed to be like an old grizzled guy. I didn't play the Uncharted game, so I'm not sure. But like Marky Mark was the wrong choice for the character. I don't even know what the character is in the video games, but I know it shouldn't have been Marky Mark.
but regardless of what it was supposed to be, it wasn't supposed to be Marky Mark.
Right. It was a bad movie, Travis. I'd say my pick of the week is probably Moon Knight. Enjoying Moon Knight on Disney Plus. It's a good time. I wasn't really familiar with Moon Knight, so I don't know what's going on or why they're doing the things they're doing. But it's a fun show. I'm enjoying watching it.
Moon Knight has been around for a long time, and he's gone through a lot of different iterations, I guess you could say. Like, he was one guy, then he was a different guy, and he was possessed by the spirit of Khonshu, but then he wasn't. He was just an insane guy. So you're pretty much in the same boat as everybody, even if they are familiar with Moon Knight, because Moon Knight is such a random character who doesn't really make sense, but is really cool.
Yeah. Travis, I mean, we did it, right? Good times.
Yeah, another Sunday afternoon special, baby.
Check out Stu's show, the website with the talking to. So his wife has a brain aneurysm, right? And so like people are going and visiting her in the hospital. She's in a coma, and like all these famous TV actors like keep coming and visiting, and it's probably really weird for everybody because they're like, hey, aren't you the fucking guy from Silver Spoons? And, you know, like, hey, you're Butch Patrick. What are you doing here? You know, it's like an endless stream of just like TV stars. Ed Asner's just showing up and being like, hey, I'm here to, you know, hang out with the coma gal.
Do you think some of the nursing staff would just like kind of post up by the door and have their autograph pad sitting there? Sure. Like, hey, before you go in, we require you to sign this sheet.
All right, we did it. Oh, there we go. What I would say is that I'm Dill Dannon.
Until next time.
Listening to this installment of WFOD, please subscribe and leave positive reviews on your preferred podcast player. Share the episode on social media or with one of your in-real-life friends. For links to our ever-expanding universe, including our Discord, our Twitch, and YouTube channels, and our library of back episodes, visit us at WFODshow.com. Thanks to Carl Casey at White Bat Audio for the music used in this podcast. Thanks to our Patreon sponsors, Amanda, Valerie, Brian, and Liquid. Visit patreon.com/WFODix to help support the show. Leave us a voicemail at 636-487-4263. Email us, Mike or Travis, at WFODix.com, or reach out on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Goodbye. That was fun.
Yeah, Stu was a good guy. You know, any of those people that we talk to that have, had some sort of history like that are always really good to talk to. They have stories. They got, they can, I don't know. Yeah, they're always great to talk to guys like that.
Right. And he said that nobody's asked to interview his wife. She wasn't on the list.
Yeah, right. Like
they gave us a list of people who are available, and she wasn't on it.
Yeah, they said talk to Stu. And
yeah.
We said, oh, okay, we'll talk to Stu.
We could talk to one guy via email only. Who's Tony Dow? What are we going to do with an email interview? And we could talk to the guy who made it. Oh, he was on Leave to Beaver. Tony Dow.
Email interviews are good for website content if
right.
we had that kind of a website.
Yeah. Oh, and actually,
we can talk to the
press release
right guy too?
For the movie at one of these Loving Lucy conventions. Stu meets Janine Cassant. So the fucking press release for the movie is what told us that you met her at a Lucy. He said that isn't true and that she called into his radio show, but that's in the press release for the movie, Stu. Tell him to fix her shit. Yeah, whatever. I didn't bring that up. He did.
I did. He did.
He did. I did.
Yeah. I think it was me.
I don't know.
It wasn't me.
No,
I do that?
I'm not. I'm not complaining. He's the one I wanted to talk to anyway. So.
Right. Yeah. Stu.
Interesting guy.
Yeah, Stu's the guy.
Yeah, Stu's the guy. So the Mountain Dew, it isn't cinnamony. It just tastes like burn.
No. It's just like orange lime.
I don't want to try it now.
Yeah, give it a shot. I had to. You have to drink it ice cold. I will say once it sits for a bit and gets warm, it does turn pretty disgusting. Yeah. But that's like most soda pops.
Guts got on here and called us scumbags. I didn't see that chat message until just now. And Rob said something about how him and Jim did a show a really long time ago where they went through all the Adam Sandler movies to decide whether they liked him or not. That's actually pretty good. Like, what's your success rate with Adam Sandler movies?
Oh, sure.
I probably like more than I don't like. You know what? I haven't seen quite a few of the newer ones.
Yeah, I think Hubie Halloween might be the only one I've seen since That's My Boy. And I never saw that one where he plays himself and his sister.
I don't think, I didn't see that one. I didn't see That's My Boy.
Oh, that's great. That one's great.
Oh.
That's My Boy is like probably one of the better Adam Sandler movies.
He did one with Al Pacino. Not Al Pacino, Dustin Hoffman. I didn't see that one. He was like a.
Oh yeah, that was a serious one. That one was good.
Yeah.
Sandy Wexler.
The one with that Brooklyn Decker gal, that one was okay. Which
one was that?
Jennifer Aniston had to pretend like she was his ex-wife.
Oh yeah, that one was fine.
It was fine.
Didn't he do two with? Didn't he do two? Oh yeah, he did that murder mystery one. I didn't see that either.
It wasn't good, but it was fine for like a Netflix movie.
Sure, just throw on. That's kind of like that David Spade one where he plays somebody's dad. Right. Like, it's like, it's whatever. It was an hour and a half.
Right.
That was my opinion of it.
You watch these movies, Travis, and they're all just fine.
Yeah, my review, my official review of the Father of the Year on Netflix, starring David. What I just said his name. It was an hour and a half. That's my official review.